Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and today we're going to take a look at the full moon in Leo astrology chart for January 25th of 2024. This is going to be an intuitive or psychic look at the astrology. While based in astrology, I do get downloads and messages from my guides as the reading goes on. So if that interests you, stay tuned because we're going to do a lot of it coming up right now. I also want to let you know that you can find me at vickieverlie.com. Beware of the rampant imposters on YouTube, personating many of the people on YouTube, emailing, messaging. I will never do that. You can always just go to my site, and that's the way to get in touch with me, through my official website. That's the only way. I will never solicit you for readings. Speaking of the readings, though, I do want to mention that I am opening up for the Aries Ingress, which is an astrology-based psychic reading. So many of you are saying, well, I want more of an astrology reading. This is the time to get these. I offer these periodically. The Aries Ingress is the astrological new year, and we do take a look at not only where the Aries Ingress itself hits in your chart. We do a bi-wheel, but we also take a look at just any big transits that are happening with your chart at the time, and then it's an animal totem as well. It'll be available for a limited time, so check it out if you're interested. Okay, now on to the full moon in Leo. Well, the full moon in Leo is happening down here at 5 degrees of Leo, and you know that the full moon in Leo is like, show us what you got. That's what I'm hearing. It's like some guy, like one of those old-timey movies, like, show us what you got, kid. Like there's some guy chomping on a cigar, you know, with one of those kind of hats that they used to wear back in the, you know, the 40s and 50s and stuff. All right, kid, show us what you got. Come on out here and do your tap dance routine or whatever. That's the image that they're showing me for this. So you may be called upon to perform. You may be called upon to say, hey, show us what you got. You know, because this is the bigger thing, the bigger picture that's happening right now, is, which is happening like the week before on the 20th, not less than a week before, 5 days before, Pluto and the Sun moves into Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius, and it's highly involved in this new moon, full moon, I should say. Because, of course, the full moon is the Sun opposed the moon, and it's 5 degrees, 5 degrees. And it's conjunct the Uranus. So the Uranian energy is fully present and fully active and really active in this. And we're still not really, we still really haven't probably acclimated that energy by the time we get to the 5th. Because it's a big shift. And I did a whole video on that. You can find that on my channel, or I'll put a link at the end of this video about the Pluto going into Aquarius. But that's that, like, show us what you got. You may be called upon out of the blue. You know, you may be called upon and just say, okay, show us what you got. This could be something that's very long term. I mean, we could be talking really long term. Now, we might be talking just since last year when Pluto was in Aquarius before, but we might be talking all the way back to Pluto going into Capricorn, all the way back in 2008. I mean, leaving Capricorn, yeah, going into Capricorn, yeah, correct, in 2008. You know, there could be a callback all the way to 2008. Or, you know, somebody that you were maybe going to, for some people I'm feeling like it's some sort of business deal or some kind of thing like that. And maybe you were in talks back then and it fell through. Or maybe because it was '08, it might have been something that, you know, when the real estate crashed or something. Or maybe, you know, somebody out there, you may have like a property or something that you haven't been able to get rid of because it just never came back from that economic crash, you know. Then all of a sudden, maybe somebody's going to say, hey, you still got that property? Or, hey, you still want to do that business? Or, hey, you still want to put on a show? You know, they keep showing me those references. And then they were just showing me, like, the Little Rascals. Remember everything? Well, we'll put on a show, Spanky. Okay, let's go, Darla. Let's get the gang together, our gang, and we're going to put on a show. You know, but maybe it's something like this, because I know a lot of creative people do watch my videos, and maybe you were trying to get a show funded or something along those lines. And it may not even be all the way back to '08 for everybody, but there's definitely like this callback time where you know, be ready to go on a moment's notice. If there is something like that that you shelved or put on the back burner, maybe get it out and dust it off. Maybe you be proactive with it, you know, and resubmit, you know, or something, or talk to those investors again, or even if it's a resume or something, they're showing me pulling out the thing and blowing the dust off of it, like dust it off. Something that's been put away and you haven't looked at in a long time. Again, it doesn't have to be 15, 16 years that you haven't looked at it. but you haven't looked at it in a long time, or maybe it just didn't seem feasible, because things are going to start moving so quickly now, you know, with this Uranus energy, and everything's direct now. Things are going to be moving really quickly, and all things got to be acting, and you know, all of a sudden. And I was just thinking, because I don't know, I think the jury might still be out on the internet. Some people say it's 9th house Jupiter. Some people say, you know, it's 3rd house. Some people say that it's not really 11th in Aquarius because of this and that. But I definitely associate, you know, you know, the internet and all this technology age that we're in with Aquarian. That's me personally. And I was just thinking about it, because, you know, when you wanted, I've mentioned this before, but some people don't even remember, you know, when you wanted information, you would have to wait sometimes months to get a book or find that information. You know, I remember, you know, I would call down the bar all the time. My mom was always working on the bar in the day, and if something came up, we'd ask, you know, ask the peanut gallery, what was the name of that thing, blah, 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 and my mom would say, hey, what's the name of that thing? And all these people would be yelling, oh, it was this, it was that, blah, blah, blah. You know, but there was a lot of things that, like, people from the bar were not going to know, that I would have to order a book from the library and wait weeks or months to get the answer. And now it's just, you know, it's so, we take it for granted, but it's just such an amazing time that we live in, that, you know, you don't have to call the bar or go to the library necessarily. Even with the library, you know, you get digital downloads from the library now, you know. I forget the app. I use it all the time, though. And they even have audiobooks and everything. And you can just get digital. You don't, you know, it's just, it's so, things, and how fast, where we used to have to wait. Potentially, I would have to wait a couple of weeks up to months to find out a piece of information that I was looking for. It's right in my hand. Bam. I don't have to make a phone call. I don't have to go to the library. I don't have to put a hold on this book, or go to a research librarian, or go to the downtown library to find and have them order the books in and all this stuff. And, you know, it's just there right in our hands. So that's why things are speeding up so fast. You know, there was a certain element in our analog times of having to get the book or find the information or find the expert, or, you know, that's kind of slowed things down, you know, because you're always waiting for the answer, or waiting for, or even like the show, the Antiques Roadshow, which I love, you know, waiting for the expert to come to town. You know, you can just check eBay's sold listings, you know, on stuff like that. Anything that you're looking to sell, there's not necessarily a mystery around it, or you don't have to wait for. Or even going back further, you know, probably like the last time that Pluto was in here in the 1700s, you'd probably have to wait for the dentist of a doctor to come to town. You know, they'd come to town in their little cart, or the eye doctor or whatever. You know, things moved way slower because there was always a lot of waiting involved. And there's no waiting involved anymore. You know, things are just snap. Open your phone, there it is. Want food? Put order on the app, and it's at your door in, you know, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. You know, you never have, and even before, like certain days, stores would be closed. Sundays the stores were closed, grocery stores and everything. At least where I lived when I was a kid, the corner store might be open, but that would be it, and they'd just be open for a little while. So now, you know, you just order online, or even just like in more recent history, people going crazy on these Black Friday, standing outside the store to get whatever, out to some kind of Black Friday sale, or even back when we used to have to camp out overnight to get concert tickets, you know, that kind of thing. Now it's just instant. So therefore, everything's starting to speed up, just because it's the whole energy. And it's just like right now, I'm looking over at my tablet over here that I always keep handy. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 tabs open over there, and my tablet over here. I got 2 tablets going. That's not even counting my phone, you know. So it's just like everything, everywhere, all at once, like they're saying. It just comes, quick. Electrified, everything's electrified, and we're just trying our damnedest to catch up. You know, because we're, especially us older, you know, people that can remember those days, you know. I know a lot of people can remember them. Even my kids, you know, they're in their 30s, they can remember. They didn't grow up with computers. They were, you know, maybe 10, young teenagers. When they had their own computer, they were definitely young teenagers when we got one in the house. They were probably 10, 11, 12 or something. But how slow it used to, you know, we're just so used to our life being like this. Well, you know, it's going to just keep accelerating. So in the midst of all this, I just heard gaiety in the midst of change. Isn't that an expression? Gaiety in the midst of change. Let me look that up over my other tablet that I have just raring to go over here. Gaiety. Let's open up a 7th tab. In the that might not be right, but Google let me know, right? Midst of change. But I think they said gaiety in the midst of change, because that ties in with the lyrics. Beauty in the midst of chaos. No, gaiety in the midst of change. Well, I swear I heard that somewhere. Gaiety in the midst of change meaning the state of being joyous, vivacious, or cheerful, often gaiety, merrymaking. They don't have it. They don't recognize it. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere, though. Might be one of those Mandela times where I'm jumping timelines. You know, and that even, that's all this Aquarian stuff, where we are jumping timelines. And we do, you know, we do have these memory fragments, or whatever you might want to call them, like left over from, you know, these memories from these other timelines. And a lot of those are BS, those ones, because I can remember they're just not true, but some of them are pretty cool, you know. I had another one recently. It was a song, too, Gaiety in the Midst of Change. I got to remember that, unless anybody else knows what it is. Well, I would just say be happy while all the Pluto stuff is doing its thing, right? Try to stay light. That's what Leo will do for us. Leo is always, let's be light, let's not take it too serious. I mean, we'll take it seriously, but let's have fun with it. We can have a laugh, we can have a joke, you know. So keep it light. Try to keep it light. We're in this big transitionary time, and it's really it's just very impactful right at this minute, you know. And so we're all kind of getting our sea legs. We're all kind of getting our multidimensional legs, you could say, right? Oh, I like that one a lot, too. Let's get excuse me, I'm getting my multidimensional legs. See, excuse me if I seem a little off kilter. I'm getting my multidimensional legs. Yeah, so we're getting our multidimensional legs here, and like getting your sea legs. But keep, you know, enjoy, be with people, have a laugh, have fun, make fun of it, have fun with it. Because, you know, ultimately, you know, we all signed up for it on this soul journey anyway, so might as well enjoy the ride, right? Or try to. Well, in the meantime over here, we've got old Chiron, and the node thing is really starting to close in, isn't it now? And that's totally being, again, calling us to our healing, calling us to our true soul mission, devoid of a lot of getting this approval from other people, finding out, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a good idea? If you think it's a good idea, then you know this, you're blazing your own soul path, and that's more important than anything right now, to do our self-healing. Chiron wants to heal those wounds, those generational wounds, and we've got to be the warrior unto ourselves. I just did a soul reading. We were talking about this being this warrior energy, and yeah, we're all being called to do that, to be the warrior for our healing, and be, you know, go bravely. Aries is that trailblazer, you know, go bravely into this new paradigm as we cross over into this new situation and everything. You know, we go bravely, be daring, be bold and daring. Go where no man has gone before. Ooh, ooh, da 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 da. Somebody should do a metal version of that. That was my poor rendition of Star Trek, but I haven't seen it shown so long, but I could hear that being like a metal just now. Da 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 da. Like really heavy on that walk down. But anyways, back to the reading. Yeah, and you know what's making this square with this Mercury and Mars conjunction? That's another thing that's going on. So, you know, they could go one of two ways with the Mercury Mars. The Mercury Mars could be, yeah, well, you get all charged up, getting all fired up, getting all charged up for sure. But in Capricorn, wanting to really get motivated. Let's get down to work. Let's get organized. Mercury, let's get organized. Let's get our ducks in a row. Let's, you know, take a look at all this stuff. Let's, prioritize, put it in order. We're going to accomplish a lot. We got big plans. We got big plans with Mercury, Mars, okay? And then, but it's squaring with this healing too. And the Mars Mercury can also, there's an upside and downside, and the downside can get resentful. Capricorn too, energy can be that way. Again, don't get pissy. I'm a Capricorn sun sign myself, so I'm allowed to say it. But, you know, they can be resentful. So that Mars could be like, your mind starts going, that Mercury starts going, clicking along, click, 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 the gears are turning, right? And then all of a sudden it's just like, I'm pissed, and I'm gonna call, somebody hurt me and they wounded me, and I'm gonna fight back against them. I'm gonna call them up, I'm gonna text them, Mercury, I'm gonna call them, email them, text them, and I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind. Well, that's not, it's a square, and that's not, with this whole Aquarian stuff, the thing's moving on its own again. With all this Aquarius stuff here, that's maybe not, we're growing out of that paradigm, okay? It's almost like some of us might get tested. Some of us that are trying to, do the work and trying to progress and trying to do the, be the to the next generation, the next incarnational whatever of the human genome, or whatever you want to call it. We're on board with it. Okay, I'm here to do my soul work. I'm doing my soul mission. Show me what you got. And then this could be this last blast of, okay, let's you're doing your stuff. You're so evolved. And then watch me push that button. Watch me piss you off. And it comes back to us with the Aries energy that we've got to say, okay, I realize that normally this is going to send me off and irritate me, aggravate me, or it's like the universe is trying to test us, and say, are you sure you really purged all that stuff? Well, let's throw this little bump in the road in front of you and see how you react, see how you handle it. Are you gonna be transcendent and say, okay, cool, it's all I'm a multidimensional human? Or are you gonna be like, you a-hole, you cut me off and did you ever hear of a turn signal? Mercury could be driving stuff too, pissing on road ragey, driving stuff like that. It seems like the top of that's cut off, so I was trying to get a little better. Yeah, so we may be getting tested, but it's all part of our healing work with the that Chiron North Node in Aries, and just that alone, not even squaring the Mars Mercury, just that alone. The Aries is quick to anger, quick to forgive, right? But then with the Capricorn, you can carry it around sometimes. It can be carried around a little bit. All this stuff too, this new moon's making a big T-square with the Jupiter too, so it's amplifying that energy. It's amplifying that energy. It's giving us this boost of this higher vibration of the Aquarian energy, and then the laughter and the levity that surrounds Leo at its best too. The lightness, the fun, and then Jupiter, Taurus, pull it down, bring it into the earth, really ground it in the earth plane. So there's that going on. Jupiter's trying to come in and help wrangle this thing, this wild, not volcano, but this wild tornado of energy over here, which Aquarian energy can be. And there's been a lot of weather. I'm doing this a few days before the Pluto transit to 0, but there's been a lot of weather, and I expect a lot of more because it's air and it's atmosphere and these high winds. And where I live, by Lake Erie, I heard that the whole thing, we could see the bottom of the lake. And that scared the piss out of me, because you see that in movies, when the water recedes like that usually means that some tsunami or something's coming, that it's going to come back with a vengeance or whatever. But, there's this swirling of all this energetic, and it's nice. It's beautiful that we're going to have this Jupiter there in Taurus to pull it down, rein it in, stay grounded. Get in the belly with the laughter. Do the belly laughing like the Leo. Pull it down into the physical being and stay grounded through it. And, keep on smiling through the pain. That's what they're saying. It doesn't have to be painful. Laughing through the rain. That song. Gonna keep on changing. Gonna keep on smiling. Yeah, keep on smiling. Keep on smiling through the rain. And then the other part of that is, even though it's not an aspect with this whole thing, but the Uranian energy is there. It's actually squaring with the Mercury Mars too. Or trining with the Mercury Mars. So there's another way to ground it, but the Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So just the fact that Uranus is in Taurus, also trying to meld the two combinations, because it's air and earth, but it's so, it's out, and Pluto is in outer space. It's far away from us. It's bringing in that outer spacey kind of energy. So there's all this energy up here, and then there's this grounding of the earth, and the earth is very heavy and solid, and this is just like waves of stuff going on up there, radio waves, and all this kind of stuff going on up there. So there's this, it's very different. It's night and day, it's very different. It's air and earth. So a bridge has to be made, or a connection, or a transport, or there is always a way for it to come together. But it could be a little difficult. It could really be a little difficult with some of this stuff. So the Jupiter and the Uranus being there in Taurus, and the Capricorn, and even Venus being in Capricorn here. Looks like we've got a yod here, don't we? Is this a yod? Got this and this and this. But it's pulling in, these low degrees are pulling in the Saturn energy. It's pulling in the Venus. And then we've got the Venus sextile Saturn, nice sextile energy. So they're working together. The water and the earth. The Saturn is grounding it in. This could really be long-term results. I was going to say long-term healing, and that would be true. This part here. This could be long-term healing. But long-term results in Venusian type of things. Love and relationship. Long-term healing. Long-term connection. Long-term commitments. Venus is also money. Long-term, all those things. Long-term commitments. Long-term things. Venus is also, love, creativity. Grounding that, finding that niche of the creative thing that you're wanting to do. Finding that you maybe you've been kind of dancing around it, or maybe it's a fully formed, creation, and you're looking for that solid whatever, that solid audience, that solid backer, that solid, these long-term things are being set up that can, go the distance, is what the guide said. They could really go the distance. Okay. Well, that is the reading. Again, don't forget, if you want to get in on if you do like the psychic astrology readings like these, then that would be the Aries Ingress is going to be the only one. I might do a solstice this summer, but I don't do... The Aries one is important because it's really the astrological new year. That's why I always do the Aries Ingress readings. And it's good to look at that chart. It's like, what's kicking off at this time? We do have the North Node in Aries, Chiron in Aries, so that'll be going on. But everybody's got something going on, okay? And it's going to be on just right in the middle of eclipse season, or right after. It's going to be real close to eclipse season with the Aries Ingress too this year. So that'll be taken into account. So if you like my interpretation of the transits to your chart with emphasis on the Aries Ingress, and it's a snapshot of the energy of what's happening at that time frame, that kicks off not only the entire astrology year, but at least the next quarter, the quarter season, the next few months. Yeah, so always a popular reading. I always like to get a little jump on it so I'm not bombarded at the very last minute on these. So I'll give it about, a month and a half, 6 weeks, ahead of time I announce it. So if anybody wants to get in on it, and you have the chance to get in on it, and I'm not completely overwhelmed by the whole process. I love doing them. It's exciting and it's fun. So that's available. Also on the soul, one quick more announcement about my stuff. The soul portraits that I've had a lot of people confused about it. I do the soul portraits, and I do there's other art there, the Tapestry of Life mandalas, and the personal astrology glyph. I do quite a bit of different custom art stuff that revolves around, some of it around your chart and other stuff, but it's all under the art section of my website, because people were wanting to order the soul painting that I talked about the last time, and they were like, well, I can't find it. Well, it's not in the readings. The readings is strictly using astrology and tarot, and the different readings. There's one tab for readings, and then there's another tab for astrology. For artwork. It says art, though. And there's several different options of different custom art. A lot of it's based on your chart. Some of it's just a straight psychic thing. So if you are interested more in the soul portrait or some of those art things, you have to look under the art tab. That was a little confusion. And again, not only with me, but everybody, if you see a video somewhere, people are pirating the videos, people are DMing. It's so rampant on YouTube these days, imposters. So anything of me you're going to find at vickieverlie.com. And if you want to know more about the art specifically, I do have my Instagram is vickieverlie. But it is just art. It's not tarot and astrology. It's just, if you like my spiritual art stuff and you want to explore that more, I've been not really promoting. It's kind of going slow. But if you do like it, check it out on Instagram. Other than that, Have a great full moon in Leo. Gaiety in the midst of change. If anybody recognizes that, or if I jumped the timeline again, I didn't say it, but there was this other one. It was a song, and it was a song that I took a snapshot. I took a screenshot of it, and Google yielded 0 results. I mean, at least on that Gaiety of the midst of change came up some stuff. 0 results, and this is a song in my childhood that I remember singing all the time. And it was 0 results. So I was like, wow, man, I must have jumped a major timeline. I took a screenshot of it. It was actually called Down. I remember the song was Down by the Riverside. Maybe I was just there for, because timelines, you don't always, my guides say we're jumping timelines all the time. So maybe I was just at that one time just to show me that. But it was, I'm going to walk with my baby down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, I'm gonna talk with my baby. I mean, we even did that. I did that song in the choral in elementary school, or maybe junior high. We did there was a small group of singers that she would choose out of the choir, and we did like those kind of. It's like barbershop, harmonies and stuff. And I believe we did that song. I know I sang that song as a kid, like in school, music class, choir, and maybe I'm not gonna look right now. But I did a search that one day, and I took a screenshot, and it was 0 results on Google. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, and that was a song I remembered. And this is a saying I've heard, Gaiety in the midst of change. So, if anybody recognizes that, maybe it's another timeline jump, but if you recognize that Gaiety in the midst of change, you want to put it in the comments. I didn't do a deep dive, and it wasn't a 0 result, but anyways. But yeah, we're gonna be a lot more of that stuff with this Aquarian energy. Watch a lot more of that stuff. Timeline jumping, dimensional, all kinds of cool stuff. So buckle up, everybody. We're about to blast off. Happy full moon in Leo. Remember your love and beauty incarnate. We'll talk again soon. Bye.